time to apply pressure. Making the incision.
An all-female fighting game from a team that's clearly in love with the genre, Skullgirls makes a strong impression with its eye-catching art and tournament-level aspirations. Just how much punch do these intricately animated ladies pack? Every fighting game needs some loose justification for its eclectic cast of characters to beat the crap out of each other. In Skullgirls, everyone is after the wish-granting, girls-only artifact known as the Skull Heart, and there's a lightly written, illustrated story for each character. It's something, but it doesn't really sell the characters. Fortunately, the personalities of the game's fighters really come across in the way they do battle.
Good job, kid!
Skullgirls has a few ways to get players into the arena. The modest tutorial mode isn't exactly extensive, but offers great potential benefits to new players by illustrating arcane concepts like high-low mix-ups and tick throws. The story and arcade modes let players test themselves against capable computer challengers with varying difficulty levels, and versus play lets you square off against fellow human beings. Outside story mode, Skullgirls feels like it was designed primarily as a team-based tag fighter. Players can select either one character or a team of 2 or 3. The more characters you have, the weaker each individual will be, but characters that aren't currently on stage will regenerate their life bars and can be called out for assist moves. The online play works well, but lacks certain desirable but non-essential features like multiplayer lobbies. Matchmaking is straightforward, and while performance may vary, the GGPO netcode powering the online play is capable of providing solid and satisfying bouts over the internet. Skullgirls certainly didn't invent the fast, combo-heavy tag team fighting concept, but it serves up a fine example of it. If you've never encountered similarly paced games like Guilty Gear or Capcom's Versus series, you'll find that you have some catching up to do. This is a highly specialized game, and there's no convenient comeback mechanic. Characters use their various moves to attack, counterattack, punish mistakes, push opponents back, and execute elaborate combos that leave their victims helpless and hurting. The cast of 8 Skullcrackers has a lot to offer with some truly standout characters. The irascible Peacock throws everything, including the kitchen sink, at her opponents between popping in and out across the screen causing mischief. Parasol, meanwhile, is a technical character that specializes in zoning and finesse, and Painwheel is a hovering, horrifying rushdown beast from hell. The top-heavy Cerebella is hugely entertaining and powerful, hanging with classic powerhouses like Zangief and Clark Steele with her mammoth move list, and a living hat that seizes opponents to apply forceful grappling techniques. If you've got the skill, these characters have the potential. The warriors are certainly strong, but there's no ignoring that the number of combatants here is considerably smaller than in most modern fighters, and as a result, the team-building metagame element that naturally flows from tag-based battling feels somewhat underdeveloped. The fact that players can choose the number of characters they send into battle, as well as set almost any move in the game as an assist attack, gives player choice a degree of precedence over fine-tuned balance. But it doesn't appear to be a foolish trade. Skullgirls fighting shows depth and nuance, and the fun is definitely there. Though the game is more concerned with what works than with trying new and novel implementation, Skullgirls does have a few of its own ideas. The ability to detect infinite loops and allow the other player to bust out of them fixes a problem that's afflicted even the most finely crafted games in the genre. And the game does its best to prevent overlapping commands so you don't execute one move while trying to do another. Flaunting what it's got without showing an ounce of shame, Skullgirls invites you to stare at whatever's on screen. Anyone who appreciates 2D animation will likely be impressed. If you can appreciate exuberantly, even lasciviously animated cartoon boobs, you may well be mesmerized. But even if the stylized cheesecake doesn't suit your palate, and you don't get half the clever visual references to other games, there's no denying the artistry displayed in these visually volatile brawls. Everything you see exudes personality and swagger, but the way characters move and animate can overshadow other elements. Backgrounds and effects often seem muted by comparison, and a reoccurring blink and you'll miss it blemish is a little bit embarrassing. The jazzy soundtrack sometimes feels bullied too. It's smooth and catchy, but sometimes a bit too reserved to hang with the wild on-screen mayhem. It's hard to blame the developers for focusing so much on one element though, and while not every piece feels perfectly matched, the game is completely successful in defining its own style. Skullgirls uses its personality and a masterful execution of the genre to punch well above its weight as a $15 downloadable upstart. Even if it isn't quite pound for pound on par with the giants of the genre, it's bold enough to aim for the top, and accomplished enough to put up one heck of a fight.
Tell me where it hurts.